I'm here with Jack Della Maddalena, who returns to action November 19th. Jack, how are you? Of
Good, thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me.
course, man.
Excited to
Of
get
course.
back in there.
I am excited as well, man. You are 3 weeks out. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling really good. Excited to fight. I'm feeling fit, ready to get over to America, like get over to the US and then get in there. I'm keen to have one more fight for the year's end.
Yes, absolutely, man. Before we get to your fight, I wanted to go back to UFC 275. First of all, how was that experience just overall, like being on such a big card, opening up the main card? Like, how was that?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to go somewhere go to somewhere a bit closer to home. Singapore, like the weather was nice, it was warm. Had a lot of friends and family come out, which was cool because I haven't come out to one of my UFC fights yet. So it's cool to have that. And yeah, open up the card and it was such a good card and I was happy with my fight and had a good fun time and the rest of the card was awesome. So I had a positive trip.
Awesome, awesome. And then you went out there. You promised that you wouldn't make the fight boring. You're not boring, but your opponent is notoriously kind of boring. You promised that would not happen, and you went out there and finished him. How did you feel about that performance?
Yeah, I was happy with the performance. The game plan was to sort of get in his face and get into the scramble out, and then try and, I guess, dig into the body a lot. So pay dividends as the fight went on, but it was got a nice shot early, and it was one of the shots that landed in the right spot and put him down.
Yeah, I mean, first two UFC fights, two first round finishes. I mean, is that what you expected getting signed to the UFC?
Obviously, expect in the UFC, it's hard to expect anything, but that was what I wanted. I wanted to go out there and get two fast finish. I wanted to get three fast finishes. So got my opportunity to get one more.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like you wanted to get a quick turnaround and fight quickly again. Are you surprised that so many fighters have been turning you down?
Um, I'm not. No, I don't know. You know what? It's hard to. Everyone's different. Everyone has different schedules. It's easy to say people are scared to fight, but I don't think anyone's scared to fight in the UFC. It's just the schedules. People have different ideas, and that's fair enough. But yeah, I really wanted to fight. And it was a bit annoying just sitting there for so long. Like I didn't think it would be that hard to get a fight, but I'm just glad we got one more. I'm pretty happy. I had a good amount of time just to focus on training and getting better, and I think the schedules worked out well.
When trying to find a fight for you, like at this point, is it just whoever says yes, or are you kind of like looking at names? Like, what's the kind of process with you?
To be honest, the process has really just been I'll fight anybody. It's more just spoke to Tim and just said this is sort of around the time I want to fight. I'll fight, and pretty much every time the first person that said, "Do you want to fight him?" I've just said yes. So just because it's easy, I'm happy just to fight anyone at this stage. I'm here to
Um,
fight. I'm here to I want to get paid as well. Like it's prize fighting, so I realize that. And any fighter brings different challenges and unique things, which I feel like I'm a martial artist and I'm down to fight, test my skills against anyone.
I mean, and you get this third fight over with, you get to re up your contract, right? And you get even more money.
Yeah, hopefully, I'm ready to go. I re-upped my contract, so I signed another four fights, but hopefully get after this one, sign another four fights. Hopefully I can just renegotiate my contract every fight would be ideal.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
Fingers crossed.
All right. So after sold out crowds in Singapore, California, you're going back to the Apex. That's got to be a bummer, right?
Yeah, for sure. I would have loved to fight on like one of the pay-per-views, but really at the end of the day, it's the same. It's the same pay wherever I fight. So whatever. You
I
know
mean,
what? And to be honest, the Apex brings it's a different sort of fight. I remember fighting there at the Contender Series. It's just a different environment, being so quiet. So I'm also excited for that.
I
you know?
mean, technically, the last time you were at the Apex, you put on a fucking one of the best fights in
Yeah, it was a cool,
you
yeah.
know, one of the best fights in the Apex history and then Contender Series. Like, so it was just like,
Yeah, for sure. My favorite fight I've ever had. So hopefully it's the same sort of thing.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I wanted to ask you, what do you do on your flights to America? Do you sleep the whole time? Do you watch movies? Do you listen to podcasts? Like, what's your what do you do?
Yeah, sort of like it's all those things, you know. I try and oh, actually, one of the things, pretty much all those things, try and watch a movie, listen to some sort of book or a podcast. And I also have like a Nintendo Switch that me and Ben like get probably a good, like I reckon the 15-hour flight, we probably have about 4 hours of Mario Kart, which may if you broke it down like that. So a bit of Mario Kart,
Who do you
movies
pick
and
in
stuff.
who do you pick in Mario Kart?
I don't know actually. I'd pick whoever. I pick them all. I like them all. Hey, they're all pretty funny. Eh?
What kind of podcasts do you listen to?
I listen to a bit of anything. I listen to audiobooks
Okay.
more than podcasts, but I listen to a bit of anything like the podcasts. I listened to a bit of Joe Rogan, and then I think Joe Rogan was probably the first podcast I listened to, and then just I guess just listen to people who've like I've heard on there, and then spread out, just listen to whatever. But I
Gotcha.
like audiobooks. I'm actually listening to a book about the it's about it's called Five Families. It's about like the mafia families. Pretty
Okay.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I am a mafia nerd. I love that shit.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's so interesting. Hey,
Yeah,
I
no,
like that sort of stuff.
absolutely. You need, well, if you have any time in Las Vegas, you have to come over to the Mob Museum. It is fantastic.
Ah, true. I
Yes.
will do that. That'd be sick.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, well, let's talk about it, man. Danny Roberts, fun fight on paper. How do you like the matchup?
I think it's a cool matchup, you know. He's a guy that's gonna come to bring it and he throws hard and yeah, he's basically he looks for big shots most of the time. He likes to move around and then look for big shots. So I think there's going to be opportunities for me when he throws big shots for me to hit him, and I feel like I'm going to hit him every time he throws big shots. So basically, it's yeah, I'm going to be in his face hitting him. I think there's going to be many opportunities for me to land big shots on him. Basically,
You guys share the common opponent of Ramazan. Do you look at that? Do you look at that MMA math kind of thing, or is it just like matchups, styles, whatever?
I think it's more style. You know, it's styles make fights. I think the yeah math MMA math it's a bit off in that regard. So I can see how Ramazan would have been able to slow someone like Danny Roberts down because I think he's going to look for heavy shots most of the time. So I think there's times to basically counter him with shots or takedowns. So yeah, I think I'm going to be able to counter him a lot.
So, with all that being said, November 19th, how do you get your hand raised?
I think I'm going to get him. I think there's going to be too many opportunities for me to land big shots on him, and I think he's seen in the past we've seen him get hurt by big shots. So I think I think I'm going to knock it. I think I'm going to put him out within 1 or 2 rounds, I believe.
I mean, you said you wanted three first round knockouts. Is that what you're aiming for?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to be as soon as the fight starts. I feel like I'm always trying to land the heavy shots. I think it's going to find the shot early.
I mean, he usually just comes forward, right? So, like, do you expect him coming forward and just kind of just head on?
Yeah, I think so. I believe he will come forward. He has shown that he's happy in the past to sit up against the cage and throw the jab. So yeah, I think he's going to be. I think from the get go he's going to back up. I think I'm going to throw. I think I'm going to have a faster jab than him. I'm about to sting him with shots, and I think he will then back up and I'll come forward and look for. Yeah, he's going to look for big shots. I'm going to try and counter him.
Gotcha.
But I understand it's an MMA fight, so there's definitely chances that I reckon that if the fight goes long enough, there'll definitely be grappling exchanges.
I mean, show everybody
What the
that
sport's about.
show everybody that you have grappling too and get a submission.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. No, I think I'm gonna take him out in one round.
Love it, love it. And then looking forward, UFC is coming to Australia February.
Yeah,
In Perth, obviously, you're probably looking to take no damage, turn around, jump on that card, right?
yeah, for sure. 100%. The plan is to fight Danny, and then look for a big fight in Perth.
With that being said, like not looking past Danny at all, but like, are you looking at like a top 15, top 20 matchup in Perth, or is it again just fight whoever?
You know what? The truth is, I'm fighting Danny. Danny is what matters, and then I want to fight in Perth. But all that only matters about how this fight goes. Ideally, beat Danny, get a good opponent. That's the plan.
Awesome.
But yeah, it all depends on how this fight goes, and you have to respect your next challenger. Otherwise, someone like Danny can definitely knock my head off.
No. Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. And on paper, it just should be a fantastic, fun fight for as long as it lasts.
Hell yeah, for sure, it will.
Awesome, Jack. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors, you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
Just Jack Della Maddalena on Instagram. Twitter will be coming soon for my Twitter fans. But yeah, no, I appreciate everyone. Scrappy MMA. See you guys November 19th.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.